Hello and welcome. I'm back on the plot today and my big job is hopefully to get a couple of raised beds in. So where I am standing now, we'll hopefully by the end of today have 2 raised beds this side and 2 raised beds that side. I spent yesterday removing some of the beds from my home garden to bring the wood down here. I balanced the wood on my roof rack and we got here safely, which did worry me. And now I'm gonna get the wood off the roof rack and we can make a start on here. So the first thing I want to do is to get my 4 beds assembled, which I'm hoping won't take very long. It should just be a matter of putting some screws in to the corners to join them up. And once I've got these beds assembled, I can then measure the distance I want to leave from the fence, put these in place, fill them with the cardboard that I've brought down. I've got a boot full of cardboard, and then I'll have to go home and get some compost that's ready to go. I just need to bring it down. I couldn't fit everything in my car, and then hopefully we'll get this raised bed made. Well, it was all going so well. I've got a slight problem with this one. The wood that I was using to attach the 2 pieces together is really rotten. The screw wouldn't fix into this wood, but that's all right. When I go home, I'll just cut another piece. I've got some of this wood or, similar wood lying around. So I'll just cut that piece and pop this in when we come back. So let's get on with positioning where I want these beds to be. So I've put a little cane in place here because I want this bed to be 80 centimetres from here, because I want to put a verge down here as well. So I want to put a 30 centimetre sort of bed essentially all along here. So then I want to leave 50 centimetres between that bed and this one so that I can mow it. Hopefully 50 should be enough. And then I want it to be 50 centimetres from here as well. So I've put in a line just along here because the fence isn't even in places. So I just go to that line there. that's that one. So this is where this bed is going to go, but I'm just debating whether I should dig around the edge so that it's flat all the way around, because this is very, I don't know, like very uneven, and I'm just wondering if it's worth me taking the time to dig around the surround, but I'm not entirely sure whether it is. So I might just lay the cardboard down now. Yeah, let's get the cardboard down. Actually, I'll get the next one in place, because I might need to dig out this end, because this end is really far up. Yeah, let's get that one in place first. So I thought the best thing would be to get the mower out and then make sure I can get the mower in between the beds. So this bed now is about 60 centimetres, so all my pathways need to be about 60 centimetres. I had put them down as 50, but I think I was thinking more of a wheelbarrow than a mower. So 60 is for the mower. I do definitely need to dig out a bit of this, because it's really up high, that end. But what I can't do is turn the mower with the pathways as they are. So I'll have to think about that. Anyhow, let me get this bit dug out first. Back to the old measuring now. Yeah, 60 that way. 80 that way. Yeah. 80 that way. And 60 that way. Right. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to put the cardboard in now. I want to put quite a thick layer of cardboard down to try and exclude all this grass. So, in typical me fashion, I spent ages putting the cardboard down, like that one behind me. And then when I went up to the shed to put my spade away, I noticed that the beds were really uneven. So I decided that I would dig out the frames. So let me show you what I done. So where this side of the bed is, I dug out a small trench, and I also dug one out here, which you can see hasn't actually been used because this bit here was quite level anyway. And then down here, I filled it back in now. I backfilled this, but I dug a trench here as well. And it was this side here and this side here that was the hardest, because whenever I raised this side, that side wasn't right, and vice versa. But I have got there in the end. So just before I backfilled in this ditch here, I just wanted to show you what I had done so far. I'm not really sure how well this shows up on camera, but in person you can see this front bed is really like on the wonk. It's not level at all, whereas now the back bed that I've settled does look level to the eye. And then maybe you can see it easier over here, especially with this first one. I haven't even begun leveling that. I mean, that is quite exceptional. But again, this back one here, that that is on a slope coming this way, so I need to level that quite a bit, I think. But I'm going to concentrate on this bed now, and I'm going to flatten out the cardboard again, and hopefully fill it in with some compost. And then this area here, this patch here, I'm going to dig out a square which will be an in-ground bed where I will be planting flowers, and I'll have exact same this way, and I'll be doing the same like set all the way down with a flower / extra vegetable patch in the front. I've just given this cardboard a water, and now I'm going to pop some compost on. But first I'm going to dig out this area here so that I can put some of the compost from here into there. My gimbal has run out of charge, so I can't set you up on the tripod anymore, so I'll just have to let you know what I'm doing piecemeal instead of you being able to see me doing it, I'm afraid. But let me show you what I've got to at the moment. So I filled the bottom of that bed with the compost from here, and I'm going to be putting plants in here and some compost I've brought from home, and then the rest of the compost I'll put on here. So I've put the pots in the places where I want them to go, and I will mirror them exactly the same on the other side because, well, that was my idea, to have the same here. So I shall get on and plant those up. Well, this is as far as I got to yesterday, and I was really pleased with this progress. I was pleased to get this bed in. This took 3 bags of my spent compost that I was using last year for my potatoes, and this bed took 2.5 bags of compost. But I will top dress this now with some bought in compost, and the same with this, and put some fish blood and bone in here, and then we're all good to go. I'm really pleased with how this bed has turned out. It's looking good. I would have liked to have got the other side done as well, but I'm working tonight, so I can't get any more done at the moment. But I can show you what the seedlings are looking like at home, so let's go and have a look there. Before I go, I also meant to say that I do have a plot neighbour, because somebody has been working on the plot behind me, so it's all now looking good. She's done a lot of work on there because it was looking, you know, really overgrown. So I have got a plot neighbour, so hopefully together we can battle these bunnies. Right, let's go home and have a nose around there. So here is my mini greenhouse at the moment, and it's looking a bit of a storage unit in all honesty. But I have got some onions on the go here. These were sown back in October, so they're looking quite good. They are ready to go out really. I just need to prep the bed where they're going. And then on this shelf, got some more onions. These are called Kelsey, that Ali from the Rusty Garden sent me. And they like grow to be really big onions. I got my dahlias, which look like they've got a load of slug trails on them, but they could be ready to pot up now. I shall have to do that soon. And then this side of the greenhouse, I got my sweet peas, which I won't say too loudly, but they seem to be doing okay, which for me is amazing because I'm not very good with sweet peas. So I'm happy with that. So this is the back garden at the moment, which is looking a little bit of a mess, where I've started to disassemble the boards from here. And annoyingly, the boards that side are just slightly short of what I need. So that's why I was thinking of putting the edging down the side of either side of the allotment. But we still have got one swede growing there, although it's resprouted now, so it probably will be woody in the middle. broad beans that I'm going to rehome to the allotment. The same with the garlic. I don't know how rehoming any of this is going to turn out. It's not ideal, but because we are going to put things here where my veg patch is, I need to rehome it anyway. So we might as well just rehome it and see how it works out, isn't it? Still got some purple sprouting broccoli, which is actually coming through the netting, so I really need to do a massive harvest on this. Those chickens, those cheeky chickens, have started laying again, which is great. Got some less than stellar looking celeriac there, which I think will go straight in the compost. Got some parsnips which have started to regrow, so they'll be woody in the middle, but I can just cut out the middle and use the bits around the edge. So it's quite handy really that it's regrown, because now I can see where the parsnips are. And then just the other side of the parsnips, there's some carrots there intermittently with the weeds, so we'll have some carrots as well. And then still got some sprouts on the go over there. So let me show you what I've got in the greenhouse. Look, I haven't even opened the door yet, although it is only 9:30, so it should be okay. My rhubarb is coming back. That should be ready for picking now, really. This variety is particularly early, so it always comes back, you know, early in the season. So that's ready, which is good. Over here, these are my shallots, which are really desperate to get in the ground. Look at them. I need to build that bed though down the allotment, so it'll be a few minutes, well, a few days before that gets done. The mustards are growing well in here. The purple one, there's one bolted over there, so I think maybe I should move this outside. I'm not sure. I might be getting a bit warm in here for them now. And then lettuces here. Happy with how these turned out. I don't know if you remember a few vlogs ago, I was showing you that they were all looking a bit poor under my grow lights for some reason. I thought it was the compost again, but I potted them on, and as you can see, the mustards have really done well since I potted them on. And I've been using perlite in my mix this year, and I stopped using perlite for a while because people were, well, I'd read that it was, you know, putting plastic back into the soil, so I thought I'd stop using perlite. But things seem to have improved since I've been using perlite, so I shall continue to use perlite. And then just up from the lettuces, we have more lettuce over here. I've potted these on, and Swiss chard back here, although it's not really doing an awful lot, but hopefully it'll just leap into action any minute now. In here are garlics. These are all garlics, which is sort of like a cross between garlic and a leek, and you're meant to take them when they're about pencil thick, I think. So I will probably pot them into a bigger pot, but they're happily growing there at the moment. Here is some dill, some more dill. Dill is my favourite herb. And parsley there. And then just round here, these are cabbages. I think they're golden acre cabbage, these ones. These are cauliflowers. They are getting a bit of a spurt on now. They were looking more like that about 3 days ago, and they seem to have shot up in the last few days. And then there's more onions here, different varieties. These ones are Regensburger. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's how it's spelt. And these ones are Elsa Craig, again, like the ones around the front. So that is what is going on in the greenhouses at the moment. Let me show you what I've got growing on the windowsills and the grow unit indoors. On my living room windowsills, we've got my potatoes, which are chitting nicely. These are all bought from the garden centre because my other ones didn't last well enough. So lots of different varieties. I think I've got 3 main crop, 1 second early and 1 first early. Yeah, Wilger and then Maris Bard. I couldn't find any Charlotte, and that one is Mozart. So they are looking good, healthy looking chits on them. Hopefully I will get them planted out very soon. On my dining room window, I've got some seedlings here. These are coriander. These need potting on. That's what I'm going to do today, I think. These are, right, we've got antirrhinum here, purple alyssum here, and white alyssum there. I'll probably pot these on 3 or 5 per pot, I think. And with the antirrhinum, I'll probably do 3 per pot, and then they'll grow smaller, I think. But it's going to be really fiddly potting on all those in it. You know, it's going to take up loads of pots. So I think 3 per pot should be good. And then here I've got some lupins there. And then what's this one? Oh, foxglove. Oh, I've got loads of foxgloves. I don't need that many foxgloves. And marigolds. Actually, I could have done with the amount of marigolds that I've got foxgloves and the amount of foxgloves I've got marigolds, because there's like 3 marigolds here. So I'm either going to sow some more or buy some. I got some spare mustard seeds, mustard plants here to go to my neighbour, and I got some alyssum that I grew earlier that's been growing all through the winter, and it's very pretty actually. It is very pretty. I should really plant it outside now. And then just coming this way, little collection of cactus and a succulent in the back. Well, it's another cactus, isn't it? But they're all succulents. And these have actually regrown. They went all brown at one point where I didn't look after them very well. But they seem to be back to good health now. And then over here, I've got some beetroot seedlings. And these are destined for that bed that I just made down the allotment. And some spring onions. Multi-sown spring onions. Not quite sure where these are going to go yet, but they are looking good. They are ready to go out. Here is my grow unit. These are the spring onions that I've grown on in the house through the winter. Very happy with them. I can start harvesting them now. Back here we have the habanero chili plants, and then those 2 at the back are called hot. That's just what they're called, is hot. I've got a poorly looking basil plant here which I just haven't harvested, but probably needs some feed, but I think it's had its day anyway. Then I got some much better basil plants here. They are ready for harvesting. Got some more. These are peppers this side. So got some this is a patchwork pepper. Got lots of different peppers here. Got some lavender to go down to the allotment there. My aubergines are looking good here. These all really need potting on. And then this module tray here, I've got celeriac, 2 different kinds of celeriac. One is monarch and one is giant Prague. And then back here I got some radishes which desperately need to go out. So I'm going to go outside now and do some harvesting, but let me show you the recipe I did promise you in my last video, well, I never got around to doing it. It's to use up those potatoes that had got all spindly. So the recipe I want to share with you is this delicious cheese and potato pie. That's what we call it in Wales anyway, and it is really nice. Let me show you how I made it. So these are the potatoes I was on about using up, because as you can see they're not really that great for growing this year, which is a bit sad. However, let me show you what I'm going to do with them to make that fantastic cheese and potato recipe. So I peeled the potatoes and I put them into boiling water, and left them to boil for about 10 minutes. Then I added some onions and I let them all cook together until the potatoes were at a mashable point. Then I mashed the potatoes with the onions. I added some grated cheese, whisked it all together, and then I was left with this delicious pie filling. I then put half the pie filling into some Tupperware, and the other half I put into a Pyrex dish with some extra grated cheese on top, and I cooked in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until the cheese was all bubbly, and then I ended up with this. So I'll be taking some of this in for my night shift tonight, and maybe I'll let other people have some of it, but I'm not really sure about that anyway. But it is delicious. I usually have it with beans. Sometimes I have it with salad if I'm being healthy, but beans and this is a really nice comforting food when you're not feeling either very well or you just feel a bit sad or something like that, you know. This is really nice, which is why it's nice to have a portion of it in the freezer ready to go. So for the days where you just either don't want to cook or you just want something really comforting, it's there for you. Right, I'm going to leave this here. Let's go outside and have a look at the harvest that I did. I couldn't resist. Don't judge me, I just couldn't resist. I'm going to be picking at that all afternoon now, but I'm sure there'll still be some for me to take into work tonight. Right, let me show you the harvest I've done. So we got loads of purple sprouting broccoli here, the last of the red cabbage in the front garden. I only harvested a couple of carrots because a lot of them are small, so I'll just pick them as we want them and put them into casseroles. Some good parsnips, but these are the last of the parsnips now, and this is the last of the swede as well, but a decent size. And these are the last of the sprouts too, but there's quite a bit here, so this should last us a couple of weeks actually with all this. And then I also picked some mustard leaves from the garden, from the greenhouse. Last year those mustard leaves made a lovely pesto, so hopefully we'll use them for some pesto this year as well. I've been Bethan and this has been a lovely job.